Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to this explainer. Today we are looking at an animal that, well, we all know and absolutely love, the dolphin, right? They're incredibly intelligent, highly sociable, just amazing creatures. But here's the thing. What you might not know, and honestly, this is absolutely vital for us to understand, is that beneath the surface of West African waters, there is a hidden, desperate crisis unfolding for these exact marine mammals. 10,000. Just let that number sink in for a second. 10,000. That is the staggering estimated number of dolphins killed illegally every single year, just in the country of Ghana alone. It's this shadowy, honestly grisly business, and it goes almost completely unnoticed by the rest of the world. So that naturally leads us to the big question, the central mystery of our explainer today. Why? Why are we hunting dolphins? What exactly is driving this massive off-the-books industry? Well, before we can unpack the huge, global, systemic issues, we really need to zoom in closely on the local fishers who are out there on the water every single day.
Section 1. The Hidden Dolphin Hunt. Let's go straight to the visceral reality on the ground in coastal Ghana. The fishers down there, they know perfectly well that marine mammals are legally protected. Market vendors are understandably super wary of any cameras. But behind closed doors, in hidden storerooms and large freezers, the chilling reality of this hunt is just stacked up in plain sight. We're talking specifically about the pantropical spotted dolphin. Local fishers actually just call this highly social animal sea meat. And a single dolphin, it can fetch about 50 euros. Now there's a wild paradox here. Globally, this species is doing great. They're incredibly abundant. We're talking millions of them. But because these specific coastal populations are resident, meaning they just stay in the same local area, they're sitting ducks. They are easily targeted. So on a local level, their numbers are just shrinking fast.
And this brilliantly illustrates the grim, purely economic domino effect taking place right out on the water. It's a very calculated, step-by-step process. Step 1, you catch the dolphin. Step 2, they are literally chopped up right there at sea to be used as bait. But why? Well, that's step 3, using that dolphin bait to catch highly lucrative sharks, which leads us to step 4, exporting those prize shark fins over to Asia. I mean, dolphins are quite literally being used as a currency to fuel an international underground economy. No way around it.
But, there is pushback. Grassroots researchers in Ghana are actively fighting this hidden hunt, and they're using technology to do it. They've rolled out this specialized mobile app to systematically track illegal catches the exact moment they land at the ports. This app logs the location, the species, size, and even the cause of death. All of this absolutely vital data is then collated over at the University of Cape Coast. And what it does is shine a massive spotlight on these significant, undocumented catches that would otherwise just remain completely invisible. Section 2. The Root of the Problem. Now, to truly grasp what's happening here, we have to look at the socio-economic reality. 200 euros. That is the average monthly income for a fisher family in Ghana. 200! I mean, try to imagine fighting for basic, daily survival on that amount. So when a fisher goes out to sea and, whether accidentally or intentionally, catches a dolphin, while asking them to just throw it back in the name of species protection, that is an incredibly tough sell when they literally do not know how they are going to feed their family that week.
And the root of that poverty really comes down to this staggering unequal competition. Just look at this. On one side, you've got 12,000 traditional local wooden boats, and together they catch about 170,000 tons of fish annually. Okay, now on the other side, you have just 76 massive industrial trawlers. These are often foreign, Chinese-run vessels operating under false flags, and between their official catches and their illegal hauls, those 76 ships are pulling in roughly the exact same amount of fish. So local fishers are essentially competing for their very lives against these massive fleets that are basically vacuuming up the ocean, often taking incredibly undersized fish in the process.
So what's the result of this unequal competition? A massive 40% income drop for West African fishers over just the last decade. 40%! The ocean is quite literally emptying out. The gas prices for their boats are rising, and their traditional source of protein is just disappearing. Because of this severe economic hit, dolphins have tragically transformed from this majestic marine mammal into a desperate, necessary alternative food source.
Section 3. A legal gray area.
Now, while Ghana did introduce the Wildlife Resources Management Act back in 2024 to strictly protect marine mammals, international laws are, well, they're surprisingly murky. Enter the IWC, the International Whaling Commission.
This is the premier global organization that was set up with a truly vital mission to protect whales from extinction, to regulate global hunting, and essentially preserve the natural equilibrium of our marine ecosystems.
But now, what's really interesting about this is there's a massive historical loophole. The 1946 founding convention of the IWC, wait for it, didn't actually define what a whale is. Yeah, seriously, because of this astonishing decades-old omission, the IWC has literally never regulated the hunting of small cetaceans like dolphins and porpoises. So millions of these highly intelligent animals have just simply fallen through the cracks of international protection.
Section 4. Saving Senegal's Rare Dolphins.
Okay, so to find some hyperlocal grassroots solutions to all of this, we're going to travel north to the sprawling, absolutely beautiful Saloum Delta in Senegal. I want you to meet the Atlantic humpback dolphin. This is an incredibly rare, introverted, and super shy dolphin species, easily identifiable by that distinct little hump on its back. Guys, there are estimated to be less than 3,000 of them left anywhere on Earth, critically endangered. Because of that, local researchers are desperately working to protect the 200 or so individuals that currently live in the Delta.
But here's a puzzle for you. How do you study a dolphin that completely avoids boats and barely ever breaks the surface? The answer is acoustic monitoring. Researchers actually take this device called a sound trap. They deploy it straight to the ocean floor, and they just leave it there for up to 6 months. When they retrieve it, they analyze the underwater clicks and vocalizations to actually identify individual dolphins. And the incredible part? Even when researchers couldn't see a single dolphin from the surface, these sound traps proved that dolphins were swimming right past them at 8 p.m. on the very first night. Talk about sneaky.
Now, alongside all that cool science, there is this brilliant Trojan horse approach to community education happening. Because rather than lecturing adults, whose habits are pretty ingrained, conservationists are targeting the children, the future fishers of Senegal. They put on these really entertaining school plays all about conservation, intentionally trying to make the kids laugh while they learn. The ultimate goal here is a massive generational mindset shift. They want to teach the next generation that dolphins are vital ecosystem helpers that actually preserve fish stocks. Basically, they are much more valuable alive than in a net.
Section 5. The Path Forward.
As we look at the broad spectrum of interventions on the table right now, the crucial point is an extreme measure known as an insurance colony. This is what you call an ex situ or off-site conservation plan. It literally involves physically blocking off an entire mangrove channel to protect a breeding group of dolphins. It's a dire yet utterly fascinating backup plan designed by scientists in Senegal. The idea is to ensure that if dolphin numbers drop way too low in the open water, the entire species won't just be completely wiped out.
Looking back at Ghana, though, the future presents a really stark contrast. The current reality is one of heavily exploited seas, totally dwindling fish stocks, and illegal hunting just for daily survival. The proposed alternative? Marine ecotourism. The idea of literally paying fishers to take tourists out to see live dolphins instead of hunting them. But man, this is economically daunting. It requires massive outside investment and an absolute cultural shift away from age-old traditional fishing.
Which leaves us pondering this final, really powerful question. What will it actually take to make the oceans viable for both wildlife and the people who rely on them? Today, we've untangled a massive web of global economics, bizarre legal loopholes, raw human survival, and really innovative conservation. The answers definitely aren't easy, but taking a clear, structured look at the reality, well, that's always the first step. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning and keep asking the big questions.